playing in this tournament also how to play straight pool, and they play a really classical game of straight pool, and they were both brought up on that game. So Corey's been playing it his whole life, and he plays really great patterns. I think Corey's known for being a 9-ball player, but he's a great straight pool player.
End up on the poster.
Well, with teaching like that,
Yeah, right.
If you unfortunately watched the last match, sorry about that. We ran over a little bit. It wasn't pretty. We promise you we're going to have a better match this go.
I'm sure everybody enjoyed watching you.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you caught some breakfast. You didn't sweat it too much. So it looks like we've got an open shot.
Yeah, I think what is he deciding, just whether or not he wants to try and go into him right now or try and get position on 1 or 2 of his bottom balls.
Yeah, it's a long enough shot that you probably don't want to try too much. But
yeah, he'd have to draw into it, and he might get stuck. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a ton of angle.
And I don't know if that 13-7 is really such a hanger, but that would certainly open the rack up.
Looks like he's queuing to draw.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a nice shot.
Beautiful. And see where the 13 went back to?
Mm-hmm.
That should be, that'll probably be how he opens these up in a shot or two, maybe even just one.
Yeah, he doesn't typically try to bust him open. Corey plays a little bit more of a conservative style where he tries to kind of pick the rack apart, and he came up a little high there.
Came up a little high, but I tell you what, it still works, and people don't realize how small that window really was, If you play a lot of straight pool, you probably saw it, but the rest of us, we end up a little short or a little long and can't work it, but he's going to, didn't come up too high, huh?
Yeah, I don't think he has the angle here either, really. Get into him, and you get into trouble when you start trying to force more position than you have.
Especially on a shot like this, that's not, you might.
Yeah, he came up short there too. I guess Corey having a little. Every table plays a little different, so in the beginning they might have a little bit of trouble with the speed. And it looks like he just hasn't gotten the speed of this table down yet.
But he can cut this and maybe clip the top of it.
Yeah, it's hard to see how low it is.
Yeah.
The great thing is if he cuts this thin, he'll blast right through the rack. There you go. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate that ball fell, actually, because if it had hung up near the pocket, he'd would have come out of that rather well. Now he's got to make another tough shot.
Yeah, and it really didn't even spread that well, considering all that speed. But,
yeah,
balls, you never know how they're set up in there.
I imagine he hit the rack a little lower than he wanted to. I think he probably wanted to hit that a little bit higher, but it's hard to precisely shoot.
So he's called that 15 in the side. It's always a challenging shot, but he'll have natural shape on the 6 and maybe get back in control.
Well, and I guess what you're seeing is the cost of getting out of line, because he just had to make a couple tough shots, whereas if he had gotten a little higher 1 of 2 times, he would have been shoot all that.
Right.
And those are missable shots. Those are not hangers.
That was a nice shot on the 15 right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it still doesn't, still got some work to do.
Really,
I don't really see how to get things moving here in the middle either.
Yeah, he doesn't have a great ball to go into him because the 12 is lower than the stack. So.
And his cue ball is not on an angle of the 6 where he can really get into this.
Right. If he were a couple inches toward the top rail, he'd have a pretty easy time with it. But again, out of line a couple times.
Right. And when you're cutting the 15 from the top of the stack into the side, you can't really focus too much on your cue ball.
Right. You just have to make that shot.
Lose the shot.
And those are really hard to judge when you can only sort of see a half a ball like that. You can't aim at the full ball. This is an interesting choice. Try to draw into it here because I don't think he has another option. I think he has to.
Yeah, he could go to the end rail, but he would be rolling pretty slow by the time he got back. And
right.
I think that's what he's going to try to do.
That was nice. He didn't get as much separation as he wanted to, but
But I think the 6 or that solid ball up at the top
That-
goes into the lower right.
The 3 might go too. Looks
even-
like it's a little low, but it's hard to see.
Even the 3-10, I think it is. Would be good. So he's gonna have some shots here.
Yeah, that kiss might be on
He's got some
for the 14 or the 10 ball.
Yeah.
And you really have to know those if you're going to play a lot of straight pool, because you really have to know the kisses.
Yeah, I think he can make this 6 or 2, whichever one's up on the top. That was a really nice shot. He was on the line of the shot for a long time, where he really couldn't accidentally get straight.
Well, that's the key to position. If you can do it, is always to come into the line of the shot instead of going across the line. Right? Because when you go across the line, like if he had tried to come from the upper right-hand part of the table to the lower right-hand part of the table, his margin for error is so small that he could have easily gotten bad position.
Looks like that 3 maybe just got outside.
I think he'll try and develop that.
And I've heard he likes the behind the rack.
He loves behind the rack break shots.
Now this ball's a little bit wide, but I think it's still.
Well, you'll notice a lot of the classical straight pool players don't worry as much, or those that were taught to play classically don't worry as much about the position of the break shot. It's because traditionally they never did, like Mosconi and everything. They would, break on the first diamond, balls frozen to the rail, they would leave balls hung up in pockets. They didn't obsess over that, getting the ball at the top of the rack and getting straight in line with it in the middle of the table, which a lot of the newer players try and do, and they sort of finesse all over the table trying to leave the perfect ball. And a lot of the other guys don't do that. Corey doesn't do that. He will just break off a ball because he's really only trying to clip a corner ball and knock out 3 or 4. He's not trying to Torsten Homan style it and just smash it all over the table. He may bump
He's
this.
gonna bump up. Probably doesn't have enough.
The angle to bump it.
So it looks like the 3 must
it's
be
a
out.
3 'cause the
and
3's
he can
out,
get
yeah.
the corner ball. He's the,
Yeah, it's a fine break ball because it's close, but it's low. The problem is when they're close, when they're high, and then you may have one of the balls that you break up kick the ball out of the way.
Right.
That happened to me yesterday in a match.
Well, Corey's certainly one of the most relaxed players at the table. Doesn't seem to get too worked up about stuff. So I'm not really sure.
Corey got off
We may
14
have
there,
to
I
duck-
think.
Yeah, we may have to duck out because I'm pretty sure there were a bunch of fouls early on that we missed on the stream. So the score could easily be something like 12 to -2 or something like this. So we'll get the score in a moment. And he's definitely going to be disturbing the corner of this rack. This is just fine.
So folks, because they each took a foul in the beginning of that rack, it's 13 to -1. He hit them well.
Yeah, he definitely just played controlled. It wasn't going to smash the rack open, and he's got a couple of reasonable shots, and he's going to have a way to go back in, maybe with a 13 or even disturb him with the 4 ball.
And I think a lot of players would have hit that much harder, but and I think that's a tendency. It's like I'm going to hit the rack as hard as possible.
And usually the outcome is your cue ball frozen to the top rail.
Right, and that's not sort of his school of thought.
I believe this 13 maybe goes. Oh.
Just use the 5 now.
Comes up a little too cozied into the rail, makes it a little harder to cue it. No insurance here, but if you just focus on the shot, this rack is going to open up quite a bit. Probably go into the 13.
You can see there again, Again, he didn't hit those too hard. He just wanted to move a couple balls. Nice and controlled for that kind of a shot. It's hard to control that when you have a lot of angle. So I'll try and use this to get a nice angle on the 6, don't you think?
Yeah, but he was also looking at something over here on the right, but I'm not sure what it was. I think he must have given up on it, because you're right, he's perfect on this shot.
Oh.
Wow. Well.
And that happens a lot of times, either you take the shot a little bit for granted or you focus a lot more on what you're having to do with the cue ball, because if he didn't get into the rack and get another shot, he could have been in a little trouble, and sometimes that causes the miss.
I tell you what, that is why I took up straight pool 10 years ago. As a 9-ball, I could run racks as long as I never had to run into another ball. And as soon as I started dividing my focus on my cue ball and the shot, I would miss shots.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody had suggested, listen, in straight pool, that happens 4 times a rack.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get used to it, but it's still, always a problem.
Well, and I think people believe straight pool to be an easy game because you can shoot any ball, but
Right.
I just don't think that that's true, because what you have to do is much more complicated. Your pattern selection, and you always have to be paying attention to your cue ball, and you can see the better the player, the less they move the ball, and they're always paying attention to that and how precise it is. And the cost to a miss in straight pool is really high, so if we were playing 9-ball right now, Corey knows he's going to get back to the table next rack at some point, or
Probably.
especially if you're playing alternate break, you're going to get another
Right.
shot. But in these kind of situations with this level of player, he could just never shoot again. So
Yeah, well, this is just, as you see on the screen, it's just a race to 100. It's a game to 100 points. It's we're still in the round robin. We'll play round robin today. This is actually a 12-card round, I think. We'll play again 2 or 2:30 the next match, and 4, and then we'll be done for the day. Now tomorrow we finish up the round robin, starting I believe at 10 o'clock. It's a long, long day tomorrow. We can start some of the single elimination rounds, and we'll get down to 8 players returning on Saturday. So they're jockeying to win their groups right now. I haven't looked at this particular group, but I'm pretty sure both of these players are in contention to win the group, or at least you have to finish in the top 3 to continue on.
he doesn't have any real problems here. Everything has a pocket as long as he goes another 2 inches. He came up a little short there.
It would have been nice to get the 12 there.
It would have been nice to be a little higher. I think
Or
he came
bump.
a little short both times, actually. I think he meant to go higher.
Yeah, he's going to come up with something here. Both of those break balls are a little high, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he may try to create something. I mean, maybe the 12 is out.
You can use the
And
12.
it's not
but
ideal,
that's
but,
right.
you could try to get on the 9 maybe and bump the 12, but you've got 1 ball left to shoot at here. So
Well, and that's the problem.
Well,
If you
if
bump
you-
something, it's hard. He could have shot the 15 right there, bumped the 12 into the 9, and hoped that
Then-
the 9 went over. But you're hoping and praying a little bit, and if you wind up with both the 12 and the 9 in the rack, you'd have a lot of problems.
yeah. I like maybe bumping the 15 out further. And while it'll still be high, there'll be more time for the cue ball to get into the stack.
Well, he could have been if he
Well,
was a little lower on the 9. He could have bumped it into the 12, into the 15, and that probably
Right.
would have wound up nice. But again, a bit of a dicey shot, and that's the sort of need for accurate position there.
yeah. Okay, so the 12 is out.
And that was nice. So, he got good. You need a fairly shallow angle on this break shot to not miss the rack with it. So that wound up pretty well. I believe Brandon got 9 and Corey got 5 there.
That's how I saw it. So, we'll go with.
Yeah, and in straight pool, traditionally the way that you keep score is to keep a rack score separate from a total game score. And then the rack score always adds to 14, and the game score is used to take off fouls and things like that. So if you guys are wondering why we're updating the score only at the end of a rack, that's why.
Right.
It just keeps it less confusing. Like, how many did you have? Well, how many did you have in case there's a couple misses, especially like if Andy or I are playing.
Right, like in the last match. This happened quite a bit. You get your fouls because you're out of line. But yeah, if you take your fouls off right away from the main score and then leave the rack score to add up to 14 at the end, it's usually the most accurate way to keep it.
That was nice because you see, if he would have followed that more, hit that harder, he would have been heading straight toward that corner pocket.
Yeah, that was really a smart shot. That one doesn't really come up real often when it's so high like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he really couldn't hit it much better. May even go into it now, you think? Or?
I mean, it looks like he's looking at the 4-ball.
If he's comfortable with his shot, it's great because he's got the insurance on the 3. But
that's true. I mean,
okay. So good decision.
And I guess the issue with that, not having cleared off a couple more balls, is he created a couple little clusters down there, but it turned out okay for him.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's he can actually make all the balls where they are. He just kind of come up on the 1.
But I
earlier rather than later, maybe.
True. I can pretty much guarantee you Corey would have shot the 6-ball. I don't think he would have gone into the balls there. And I think what you're seeing part of is that difference in style we're talking about, where people who haven't come up with the game or played it in a classical way, they see an opportunity to go into the balls, and they go into the balls. Because, if they have a good angle, they don't want to try and get a good angle later. But the more seasoned straight pool players, I think, will not try and not run into balls until they have to or whatever, and in part to avoid what just happened to him. Because now he's
looking at a 3-ball combination.
He's looking at a 3-ball combination, or although I saw Dennis Okoye shoot a 5-ball combination yesterday.
Hey, when they're wired up, and you know how to read everything.
They weren't as wired as I got. Well, to me, I would have missed it by a diamond, but a little different. So, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Brandon, but just to point out some of the differences for the viewers.
Yeah, and really the only challenge in this rack at this point, since you made that shot.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
He wants to try to leave the 11 probably. Could leave the 10 if he had to. But the 1 and the 13 are in there tight. And the trick is, in my mind, to try not moving balls, is to try to get the 1 ball out of there without disturbing the 11. He may be able to do this right now. Using the 10.
Oh, is that the 10?
I think he might shoot the 10.
I think that's the 14. I think the
10 or 14, the strike ball up above the 1.
Yeah, that's the 10's by the side. Sorry, guys, our monitor color is a little bit off, so it's
They're all
hard
green.
to tell the fine differences. Everything looks green. So if he shoots that ball right above the 1, it stays on that rail, he could pretty easily pick off the 13 and the 1 there.
So this might be where we were talking about the style.
Yeah, so he elected to go into him, whereas a different player may have elected to hold the ball near the rail and try and take it off that way.
Yeah, and he definitely shoots fast and loose, right? But had his cue ball been 1 inch over to the right, he could have been frozen to the top of the 6.
Right. He
shooting
didn't have
the
to have
11
a shot
in the
there.
corner,
He did not have to have a shot at all.
So he's fine now,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
But I think, too, part of that is what you see, preferences and patterns or preferences in the way you shoot the ball, because people are comfortable or uncomfortable with different shots, and he might not be comfortable killing the ball.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an angle.
So, I think it just depends on what you like and what you don't like. And, I know some players even have a preference for different side of the table shots. Like typically a right-handed player will want what he has right now in the 11 ball because you can reach it easier. Whereas if you're shooting from the other side of the table, it's harder. So patterns will differ between left-handed players and right-handed players for that reason. And then here he's down to, what you would call the essential pattern, just like the last couple balls. And he wants to leave that 6 ball because he can stop on it if he gets there. It's a nice key ball. If he stops right where that is, he'll have a great break shot.
Yeah, he's really got his choice of which way will get him towards the middle of the table, but a little bit towards the right side. He could probably do this either direction.
Yeah, well, he's looking at if he can get straight on the 6 from the 10. Because if he can, he'll shoot the 10 first, and then shoot the 6 and stop, pretty much.
Perfect. Right.
Maybe just roll forward an inch or two to kind of get in line. But if he gets a bad angle here, it gets tricky because what you don't want to do is go like 3 rails to where you're, you try to break the balls because.
And I think he actually got inside his angle. He's got to go to the rail and out.
He does.
Which is fine. Made it look like it was no big deal, right?
Well, that's okay because even if he's coming across the angle, he would play that to come a little short because in that case, your problem is only if you go too long. And I think that's part of the difference in ability also is to him it's a super makeable shot, even if he's really close to that rail. Whereas for me, then I have to worry about making a shot in addition. So part of it's
having all those 99% shots in your back pocket
it's
really
nice.
opens up your opportunities.
Really opens up your opportunities. So Brandon now with 28.
No, with,
or sorry, 22.
It's like 22-18, and just an ideal spot for Brandon right here.
Yeah, that's a great break ball. And this one he might hit pretty hard because he really could.
Yeah, you watched Thorsten and Mika 2 or 3 years ago. At least Mika 2 or 3 years ago. But Thorsten would absolutely draw this ball clear down the table as well.
Thorsten would hit this ball. The only thing Thorsten would worry about on this break shot is whether or not the 11 ball is going to stay in the pocket or if he hits it too hard and it will pop out of the back of the pocket.
Okay, so this is what I do. I draw it, but I don't really draw it.
Yeah,
he end up kind of down there.
He actually, and part of that is like he was a little bit in between there. Like he didn't crush those and didn't hit them soft. And really on that, you either need to crush it with draw, so it'll draw all the way back up the table and wind up back in the middle. Ultimately, you want to wind up in the middle of the table. So he either had to draw it more and come to the middle, back to the middle of the table, or hit it softer and just stay around the cluster.
And it still always is a judgment, right? But if you're definitely coming up the table, or
you want to come back down.
You got to go like you mean it.
Yeah, that exactly because this is no hanger. And I mean, no problem for Brandon. But look where he wound up. He's not going to have a shot. I mean, and so that's part of the problem because he had so much distance from the ball he was shooting that the cue ball carried momentum with it, so he had trouble controlling it, and then he wound up somewhere he didn't want to be.
Sure, and it was long enough that he just said, "Listen, I just have to make this shot."
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what the odds of getting stuck like this were, but it's going to happen when you're not thinking everything.
And honestly, it happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah, you feel like you got really unlucky. But
this happens all the time. And if you watch the players that run a lot of balls consistently, they really just stay out of trouble because they figure to make balls, and they just keep themselves out of trouble. So they will go to great lengths to deliberately avoid any situation that could land them in the rack. So we'll see. I mean, that 5 might be wired.
Yeah, it's
up
just
to
really,
the corner there.
really difficult jacked up. And it's probably
over the rack like that. And we are playing all ball fouls, so if he accidentally nudges another ball with his bridge hand or with anything, it is a foul and he would have to turn the table over.
And it can be hard not to double hit. I can't tell how close that is, but I imagine it's within a chalk width. And when you're jacked up, you almost have to follow, which is going to be hard when it's that close.
Yeah, especially over 2 balls. Well, if it's dead enough, he can come at it from the side. But
I believe he's thinking about a safety here, possibly.
Yes,
he wants to shoot
that 5. He wants to shoot it. I mean, he wants to shoot it. And it's it's really tempting. Like if you've made a few balls and you're kind of on a run, it messes with your judgment a little because if you see a ball and you're like that ball could go. Even if it's really, really hard, at least I'm much more likely to shoot it because I don't want to lose the run. Whereas in reality, you should just take your medicine and play safe.
Now I don't really play one pocket, but he almost looked like he was looking for safety here, sort of squeeze between the rail and the 6. Oh my!
Yeah, this is tricky. Better have somebody come over and watch the hit.
I tell you what, I think he's going to thin this ball, go 2 rails behind the 6, squeeze in next to the 6.
It's dicey. I mean, it's hard to play safe with this many
I
balls
don't
on the
know
table
what,
anyway.
I don't know what else.
Yeah.
Can he
shooting
draw
it.
right back
I think
into
he's
there?
shooting the 5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there you
Well,
go. All right, that was a good safety. Although he may. Well, no. Did he leave the 13?
He did, but I tell you, you got to be 6 foot something to get this shot, or be very comfortable with the bridge, which I believe Corey is comfortable with the bridge.
Oh, Corey is great with the bridge. Yeah, no problem.
Pretty good shot from Brandon. He really didn't have a lot.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there was no easy shot there. There was no obvious shot.
Yeah, we'll see if he's left.
So it looks like Corey stepped away to go to the restroom.
So we are here in the 2017 American 14.1 Straight Pool Championships. We are in Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia, just west of downtown Richmond. This tournament is brought to you by the Dorsey family, the owners here at Diamond Billiards, as well as the free stream that you will enjoy.
Yeah, it's a lovely room, and I'm pretty excited for the match to end, so I can go get a sandwich.
Yes,
the food here is really good.
I did sort of interrupt Darren's lunch, really my own. But,
No, I'm excited. I've been eating the jerk wrap for 3 straight days. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of nice.
I've never really had anything bad here. I've tried several things.
Everything's good. So while they're taking a short break, take a moment to mention our other sponsors: Q Sports International, Diamond Billiards, Simonis Cloth, Airman Balls, Kamui, Kasi Qs. And just because I'm an employee, I'm going to take a minute to mention to you guys that it's October and we have the Kamui Pink Ribbon campaign going on. If you saw the stream yesterday, so Torsten playing with a pink glove, and we also have a pink Dr. Z shaft cleaner, and all proceeds from those go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And so we're really happy to bring that to you. So find your local retailers, KamuiTips.com, and join the Pink Ribbon campaign. So Corey back at the table, and now he has to find another safe unless he wants to sort of get aggressive and try and shoot the 13, which he may not have, because
You know what? I'm thinking the edge of the 8 maybe in his way.
he may be obscuring that ball. So
Even with the bridge, I'm thinking maybe. We seem to be discussing something.
Should like for the 14.
So I think we'll upgrade Brandon's safety shot.
Oh,
Say that
now that
was
Corey
just,
doesn't have an obvious shot, we'll
say that was just a fine
we want
shot.
to revise our opinion of the safety
Beautiful
play.
shot by Brandon.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, finesse, touch.
Bro, you're not jacking up.
Interesting, Corey's not. Oh, that was.
I think he was playing the stripe. He just didn't play for the cue ball after.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate because that was a really good shot.
I'll have to watch that one on replay at some time and see exactly what he was doing.
Well, that's one of the hard things to predict is all those collisions, and then it's difficult to know exactly where the ball's going to go. But
Look at this table.
yeah, now, we got to upgrade the safety play again now.
Could have been a game winner.
Game winner. I mean,
Game winner
comes
safety
up to the table now, totally open. Well, also when you scratch and straight pull, if you make a ball, that ball comes back up and gets spotted, and then you get ball in hand behind the line, behind the head string, or in the kitchen, whatever we say. So he's gonna take this ball off the rail, and I was a little surprised he shot
Everything
that
was
ball
quick.
because he did get down and shoot that rather quick, and that's not a hanger on it though. He had a couple of shots that may have been a little easier to pocket.
I don't know. It's a diamond table, and you need to put the ball in the pocket. It doesn't just suck it in.
See, that was nice what he did there for you guys to notice is that he bumped that ball out a little bit to develop or create a break ball. So So we'll see if he uses that. So now we have to re-downgrade the safety.
No, the safety stands. What he shot
The
a
safety
game,
stand,
he
okay.
shot a game loser on the one, maybe. You know, it's a tough table.
No, it's very
We'll
tough.
see how they.
It's very tough.
I would be surprised if he actually runs 80 out here.
So this is a break ball. The 3. You can use that. If you're bad, a little bit farther back would be nice. But they don't leave these anymore, really. Like Mosconi would leave the ball like
Yeah.
and just get a lot of angle and try and clip the corner ball.
Yeah, there's at least 20 ways to get this out, but I think he's probably just going to at least take care of the ball on the top so he doesn't have to deal with it later.
Yeah, and you'll see them treat balls in clusters. So he's sort of thinking about those top 3 balls as a cluster of balls
Right.
and how he's going to get rid of those 3. And he, in order to not move the cue ball more than necessary, he doesn't want to go up the table, back down the table, up the table, back down the table. So he'll probably try and clear these 3 off in one go.
There's the 3 balls we were just talking about.
Do you think he'll use the 7 to get on the 13?
I'm not going to predict. You'd think with 7 balls on the table, we'd see it. Well, it makes me wonder. Do you think he has an exact plan? Or he's like, you know, I really need to figure everything out. I got rid of these 3. Now I think maybe he assesses the whole table and decides.
I think he has a more exact plan. I think he knows what he wants to leave as the key, which is the ball before the break ball, and then I think he knows how he wants to get on that. Or at least now he does. He did need to come under and get rid of the 9, so that has to go away to free the pocket up. So he had a theme to this, at least.
Yeah, and despite the 9 hanging in the pocket, it really wasn't helping the end pattern here very much. It's so low. I think he's going to use the 11.
Well, and I think he elected to play single ball position because he could have tried to come around or do something else. And when you do that, if you play multiple ball position, it's like you have an option if you run over a little too much with the English or whatever it is. But I think he knows he's going to go, 11, 14, 15, 7. I was a little surprised he didn't stop and shoot that up in the corner because it was a stop shot. He could have just stopped and shot it up in the corner and then shot the 7, and he would have had pretty much stopped position. I think that was the pattern.
He's going to move a little bit now. But
He's going to go to the end rail, I think, and
now,
come
right?
back.
Look at that, all that reverse.
Mm-hmm. And that
That's getting
that
back
shot
in line
looks
right
pretty
there.
easy to you on the stream, I think, and it looks easy from here, but it's not that easy to hit that shot with speed like that with reverse English and get in that exact line a foot away from the ball.
And he really wasn't ideal. And it means he's going to have a slightly longer break shot here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to drift up table, but he, he's in pretty good shape, and it was because of that shot.
Yeah, he's okay, and I think here he's just going to kind of control this 3-corner ball. He's not going to hit this hard. He'll just put follow on this and try and hit the rail, the bottom rail, sort of between that first diamond and the corner pocket to avoid the scratch.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to go up table anymore. So instead of trying to create an angle that wasn't really there,
I think that was a 212 rack.
Brandon got 2.
I will briefly double check the score.
Corey, you put my phone up? We got 2, right? We got 2 balls. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Verifying the score. Apparently.
Put the numbers on the track.
It was a foul there. Take off the foul on Corey. 28. 30 to 24.
He's been low on that? Mine. Okay, so I was totally wrong on that ball. I thought he would follow that through a corner, but he elected to draw up instead.
Likely some knowledge in there that we're maybe not aware of.
Right. Oh, I'm certainly not saying you should have done what I said. I'm certainly saying that I should have known better and did what Corey did. And that is a really nice shot. I mean, to come around there and get position on that. Now, I think there he did play position for 2 balls because really he could break them with either the 14 or the 8. But
And the 8's probably a little better too, because you got the 14 maybe as insurance.
well, it kind of depends. I was listening the other day to Bob Madoff, and he was saying he always wants to use the ball that's farther because it lets the cue ball pick up more acceleration as it heads toward the rack, picks up more spin. So he thinks you're less likely to get stuck.
Well, I'll tell you what there. I think he was playing
I think he was playing
the solid and thin, the stripe in front of it, and that's why I missed.
Was he doing that, or did he play the 10 aside? Because that ball hung up. Now, we didn't hear him call anything, so I'm not sure exactly what he played there.
We're in a separate room in an office, so we don't hear the call. I almost feel like he was going for the solid ball and accidentally pinned the ball in front.
Well, and he may have sort of, in a sense, gotten away with it.
No, I think he's going up in the corner. And
it's hard to see if the 11's in the way or not. I guess not.
Nice opportunity for Brandon here.
Yeah, that worked out. So a lot of straight pull too is sort of how much you penalize your opponent's mistakes. If they miss or they give you another opportunity at the table.
Right, because Brandon let him off the hook
Exactly.
on the scratch, but we'll see if he is refocused and see if he gets a couple of racks here.
Well, that's the hard thing about the game too, is that could have cost Brandon the match. I was watching the World 14.1 and Mika Immonen was playing Torsten home, and Mika was up 100 in a race to 200. He was up 184 to 88 and played one bad safety. He only needed 16 balls to win, played one bad safety, and Torsten ran 112 and out. So the cost of that one bad safety, which was like a centimeter off, was the match. And that's a very hard thing about the game. But very easily, Torsten could have made 8 balls and missed. It wouldn't have cost him anything. So it's hard to predict. So, he can clear all these out without going into the balls, assuming that one ball goes. But, so it's interesting to see how he'll go about this.
That was a good shot. He decided to get a little closer to this top ball. Of course, maybe he got so close as to stretch out. That was really a very nice shot there. Got the 6, or 2 maybe that is. The 5 is outside the rack, and the 7 is a reasonable break shot as well.
Well, I think, judging by how he's played these, I think he's
going to go in.
Probably going to hit him. I think he's going to use the 6 and hit him. The 3 and the 1 might go, so we'll have to see what he does here. Because if he's going to hit him, he's going to hit him. So that has the potential to go well or poorly, and that really didn't go that well because, he blocked the 5 ball. He doesn't have an easy way to shoot the 11 necessarily, or get on the 11 now. And he doesn't have a shot. Both the 1 and the 14 can cause problems there. So, I wouldn't call that a great result.
Not at all. And I bet you walk around the table, if he's like me, he feels like he just got slapped in the face, and it's like, I have 2 break shots. I didn't, maybe maybe I'm misjudging how bad a decision it is to go into that. But when you bump in balls, you're never really sure. So.
Right. And you will see some people who can control that really, really well. Like they know how hard to hit the balls.
We'll see if he focuses. He can cut the 7 in. Nice.
And that was a tough shot there, but it didn't really do much for him because he is pretty much back in the same spot, and he's going to have to get on one of those balls. So he may have just been hoping to get in line. If he had gotten straight on the 3, he'd be in pretty good shape.
And he can still work this a little more than the last shot and then maybe have the 14 or the 11. But like you said, being straighter on that shot, fantastic.
Well, I mean, you hate to do it, but what he's looking at is shooting the combination because it solves his problem. And the issue is the 5 ball is going to go directly into those 2 bottom rail balls. And if that causes another 3 ball cluster, he's going to have a real problem. There's almost no way he'd have to go into them. So he would have to sort of hit it and hope, hit it hard and hope that it knocks one of the balls out and doesn't tie up with the other ball, and you wind up with 3 open balls.
Right.
Now, he's going to hate to do that because it leaves a lot to chance, whereas if he could get the proper angles, so he's electing not to do that because he is not confident that he'll get a shot.
Yeah, he took a look at that 14. That's a nice shot there. That's not as easy as
that
you made
worked
that
out
look.
well. That was not an easy shot at all. And that's what I mean about the players with the better ability, is he can shoot that ball. Like I might have had to shoot the combo because I don't know that I don't know that I'm shooting that 3 ball with inside English. That's
right.
It's easy to miss that ball.
Their scramble percentage is really. I think he can still get this, but boy, now yes, I think perfect and get on the break shot.
Well, honestly, he really can break without a ball.
Well, that's helpful because he's going to go in there 1 or 2 rails, probably 2, and the 5 is easier to get on.
Yeah. Well, the truth is he can break with any of the 3. The 1's possible also.
Yeah. So we'll see if he's trying to get on the 11 or the 5. Or
I think he's gonna.
I think the 11. I think maybe he got on it very nicely. Even if he's straight there, he can draw it back and get on the position.
Right.
Or he can
He's
just
gonna
stun
be
up,
okay here.
stun up toward the center of the table.
And he's just going to try and get in line with the 5 ball. But we underhit that a little bit.
A little
We
bit.
saw him not really get through that.
A little bit.
And now you're seeing the cost of a position mistake. So as you get out of line once, scramble to get back in line the whole time.
If your scramble percentage is about 80 and you got 5 balls on the table,
Mm-hmm.
you might be giving up the table on the last shot.
So
But really, he should have been able to get on that ball. I'm sure he's kicking himself.
yeah, he might have miscued a little bit there. It looks like his tip kind of slid off the ball a little bit. He just didn't get the.
He may have been nervous about going too far, because it really wasn't quite straight. It was a little bit off.
So Corey got 1 in that
I
round.
think. Yeah, I think that was 13. We got 2 of them. I'll just start paying closer attention here. Go 12-2. It looked like that cue ball goes right between the 4 and the 6 there.
Yeah, that was a nice save.
If you can squeeze right between 2 of those balls, you can take away the 1 railer. But I think maybe he's got space. That's 6 moving.
A little farther there, but assuming he breaks the rack, that's not a foul.
Yeah, I think he probably.
And Brandon can put him on the table here. But it's always dangerous whenever you kind of clip the rack because you can make a dead ball and shift those balls around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Corey may shoot this. Ooh, that's a really tough shot. This is pockets on this diamond. It's pretty tight. On a different table, maybe that ball goes.
I still feel like one of these players is going to wake up and run 40 or so. Just because it hasn't gone that way so far doesn't mean it can't happen anytime. It happened in my match. I clawed my way to a lead, and I make 1 more mistake out of 10. I Next thing you know, the guy's running this 59. And the match is all close. So see how Brandon handles this opportunity.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can have these back and forth matches, or you can have a match like Torsten and Alvin yesterday's over in 3 innings. Galvin only shot 1 time and ran 60 balls.
Huh.
Torsten ran at an 80, a 70 or an 80, and then Alvin got to the table and ran a 56, I think, and missed a thick shot at the side. It's a makeable shot for him. It just, everybody misses, and then Torsten ran out, and that was the whole match. So, you have both kinds in straight pool. And that was good. He hit the rack like that and come off. He didn't get stuck. So he has some options now. Just kind of move his way around these.
Well, this will clear out the pocket.
Yeah, and that was absolutely the right ball.
This ball certainly goes, and he may even move them. He's pushing balls toward the end rail, so not likely to create a cluster here.
That turned out pretty well.
Yeah, so everything's sort of in good shape now. Just got to manage the pattern here.
All right. I think he's going to end up leaving the 11 if he can.
Yep.
Although, again, like the 8's a good key ball and the 9's a good break ball. So you can't just leave those. Just if you're trying to play the game, you don't need to obsess about, the perfect break ball, because you see a lot of people doing that, and then, will not shoot the break ball for any reason, the ball they think is the break ball, and, really struggle with the game.
All kinds of flyers to make sure you keep that shit.
Right, and it's just not worth it,
Yeah.
And it's tempting when you watch them play to play that way, but they can get away with it because their shot making abilities are.
Well, I tell you, that was not a great shot right there.
That was not what he wanted.
He's got position on the ball that he hit. It was rolling.
Well, I think if it's not, it's hard to see the exact angle, but if it's pretty straight, he'll just shoot that 15 down in the lower corner.
I think he is. I don't think it's dead straight.
And if he does, if he does leave the 11, he has a good key ball.
Okay. It wasn't as bad as it
No. So he'll want to clear these balls under the break ball, which is a decent rule of thumb. If you get rid of those, get a little straight here. And he can really leave either ball. Either of those can be a key ball, the 14 or the 15.
Yes, I think he's sort of looking at the 15 to see the angle on the 14 in the left corner.
I liked rolling forward there a little bit, shooting the 14 in the side,
I do too.
stopping it, and shooting the 15 up table and stopping it. Because the other thing you have to consider too is you don't always want to be as close to the. It's a little easier to make the break ball if you're as close as possible. Like you might be tempted to leave the cue ball where the 14 is because you're a little more likely to make the 11. It's a slightly easier shot, but you have to stretch for it too. Especially Brandon's pretty tall, so he's not going to have a problem. But for a lot of people, you want to leave the cue ball where you can reach it, and that's generally what you want to avoid doing when you play straight pool. Right there is to go 3 rails for position, because if you're a little bit offline, it can be really tricky. And if he had played it the other way, he would have been able to sort of roll forward a couple inches, stop, and he really wouldn't have had to move the ball. He just had to move the ball, like 7 feet and go around the table. And a lot can go wrong when you do that. And here he's got to slide this off the rail. He's got to roll that ball. And it came out okay, but much more difficult.
Yeah. I had talked about this with Tom Walters a little bit. His cue ball is actually right where the 15 originally was. So what was that?
He got all 14 there, right?
Okay. Yeah, it's great to have that key ball at the 15, but you know what? You're not using a rail. So in other words, you have to be straight. And Brandon, had a fairly easy shot down the lower right, but he didn't really draw it back. Next thing you know, he's using his 9-ball skills to get out there.
Right.
And while he's exactly where he should have been right now,
Yeah,
not the best percentage way to get there.
and that's the way runs end. You know, you get out of line like
Catches
that,
up to you.
and it just eventually catches up to you because you don't always pull out the 3 difficult shots that you have to. They miss balls too.
Uh-oh.
And that, I mean, you can't. It's just when you hit the middle of the rack there, you generally want to hit the end of the racks if you can, either the highest ball or the kind of the lowest ball, or in between the lowest 2 balls, because when you hit it like that, and especially if you hit it with follow, you know, you can slide right off the rack like that. You know, in the shape of the rack, just funnels that ball right toward the corner pocket.
Sure
So,
does. I mean, I like drawing that ball.
oh,
Just-
all day,
Just you can
absolutely.
hit the rack and go to the side rail, or you can hit the rack and come
Right.
up. Either way.
Right.
Yeah, when you draw on a side of the rack break shot, there's really low chances of scratching. Now, you may not get the biggest spread, but it should be okay. Follow, you got to kind of be sure you're down low on that rack so you can get to the end rail.
And you have to be like he was on the other rack, where he had a pretty straight angle, and then he just sort of soft follow,
Yeah.
a little bit of stun follow, and it just drifted a little bit. But even that one, you know, we were saying that if he had hit it harder, it was headed straight toward the pocket.
Yeah.
So that's just something to be careful of. And the danger with drawing break shots is getting stuck in the rack, because if you don't get enough separation, you're not bouncing off, right? Like the ball is drawing into the stack. And so you can get
Depends.
stuck that way.
It should pop out of there. Maybe not on a soft draw.
Well, and a lot of it depends on whether you hit a ball flush or you hit in between 2 balls.
Sure, it's very important where you're hitting. Whichever ball you're going to hit in the stack, that greatly determines the outcome.
And they pay a lot of attention to that because they know exactly where they're going to hit.
Yeah, you watch any of these players, Thorsten and Mika, they go over and stand on the side, take a look right down the line, sort of the tangent line of the break ball, and they decide what's going to happen.
That was a nice speed shot there by Corey. And I would not, personally, there he kind of knew where he was going to hit, and he could predict the spread a little bit. I personally would have hit that ball 3 times that hard because I would be scared of getting stuck on a shot like that. Like I would want to go all the way through.
Yeah, I think he didn't like these 2 balls here. He wanted to move on.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does because I think he'd like to clear that 12 ball out and make a pocket for the 14 and the 11, unless the 14 goes right now and that's what he's shooting. Looks like it.
Look at that.
That was a nice shot because that really opens it up. And if the 14 goes, he's... I'm just going to call every ball on the table the 14 because the stripes are all green. And that was beautiful because he hit that 4 and 7, stopped the 4 right there. Now he's got a great break shot.
Right. Instead of trying to leave the 7 and work around it, he just read where that was going to bump it and said, yeah, I can bump it and it'll become the break ball. And he hit it at such a speed that the 7 didn't go tie up with the 5 or anything like that. It was just
I just find that amazing.
It's just
they can
beautiful.
bump those balls with such precision. You know, and that was headed straight into the 7, so it's more predictable where it's going to land.
right.
But the way they can make break balls, you know, is really, really impressive. So I think now he'll just come back up. He needs to clear the 7 out sooner rather than later. But everything else is pretty open. As I hear you were asking if Corey's comfortable with the bridge. Corey's obviously comfortable.
Oh, I heard he even challenges people. He'll play every shot with the bridge.
Corey, every shot with a bridge, every shot one-handed.
That was one-handed too. Well, you were right. He decided to get this 7 earlier rather than later.
Yeah, any shot that's potentially sort of difficult to get on that you can't get on from anywhere, I think he'd like to take away. He's going to want to take the 8 and then want to get that 12 out of there too. So I think he's going to come around try and stop on the 9 and shoot the 12. He doesn't have a great way to get on the 12 otherwise, unless he comes to the middle of the table, but that leaves him a pretty difficult shot. And there you go. I think he was trying to stop a little bit lower, and then he'd have the 12. So my way was much more convoluted, and you see with the control that they have, they can just get rid of the problem like right away. You know, they just go right after it and get rid of it.
And the 11 wasn't, somewhat of a funny spot. You could have maybe used the 13 and played 11 to the right. But now he can keep that 13 for later as a key ball. It's you're right. The 12 ball would have been
But I think he was just deciding there what he wanted to leave as the key to the break ball. And just how he wanted to get on it. Speed is everything on that shot, because if he would have overrun that, he'd be in a lot of trouble. He couldn't
underrun it and get stuck behind his break ball. Look at this.
No, he's got to shoot the break ball, so he did underrun it.
I think he had too much angle on the 13.
Right, and that's a danger, again, coming across the line, because he couldn't come into the line on that ball, that he needed to be on a certain side of it.
And it's possible this was his plan all along, because it's such a nice key ball on the 9, even though the 9's further from the rack.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
He may have wanted to leave that a little bit closer to the rail to get a little bit more angle. But, this will work just fine for him as a break ball. He's just going to try and come down and hit the bottom ball, the bottom 2 balls, just knock a couple off the corners, and then go into the rack again.
So I haven't updated the scores from the first round. I'll do that after this match. We'll post them up on the American 14.1 Straight Pool group. And you're probably watching this from the Diamond Billiards Room Facebook page stream. I'll try to share the scores over there if I can.
So how hard does he hit this?
I don't want to predict it wrong.
Come on, Andy.
Just make the
See, and that's what I was saying about going into the middle of the pack, because he really wanted to go lower. Like, he wanted to hit at highest, he wanted to hit the 3 ball. And when you hit the middle like that, he hit in between 2 balls in the middle of the stack, and that is just a recipe for getting stuck.
Especially with the distance from the 9.
Absolutely.
Now, if your break ball is like 4 inches away from the stack, and you just even use a little bit of draw, it almost doesn't matter where you hit on those balls. You're not going to stick to it. But when you get all that distance, the shot obviously is a little tougher because the pocket's not as big from over on the side. But I don't know if he was following that ball or he just didn't draw it like he meant to, or whether he should have done what you said.
He hit it with follow. I actually think he hit it a little too hard, because
he's going to take fouls, and I think we're going to see.
He really wanted to keep it on the tangent line and kind of bend it down into the balls. And if you hit it hard like that, you get that immediate separation from the ball, and it would, like, the harder you hit that shot with follow, the higher it would hit the rack. But it's hard to judge that. So it's a really difficult shot. So back to how I wanted him to leave the other break ball.
Right. Are we going to see a re-rack here, Darren? There haven't been any big runs, but
there haven't been any big runs. I would sort of hate to see a re-rack.
They're going to at least take a couple fouls.
And if you're not familiar, what Andy's referring to is that if a player takes 3 fouls, the rule is that they get an additional minus 15. So -1 for each of the fouls, then minus 15 for a 3-foul penalty. And then the balls are re-racked, and the person who took the 3 fouls and got the minus 18 breaks. So you really don't want to take 3 fouls unless you can absolutely avoid it. Now the issue is he's playing somebody that can just run out Both players are. So if your option is between minus 18 and a possible loss, you're going to take the minus 18. And see, Brandon tried to hit a rail there and didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
So Corey's on 2, right?
Is he? Or are they each on?
So there's also etiquette in straight pool to tell your opponent when they're on 2. So if he's on 2, Brandon would have said to Corey, "You're on 2," and that way a person doesn't 3 foul while they meant to 2 foul.
It may be in the rule required to get your opponent to acknowledge.
I think you are required.
So in any case, just do it. Okay,
So they say.
we're not going to get the.
And part of the safety play here is you want to, and see what Corey just did? He just held up 2 fingers and told Brandon you're on 2.
Oh, Brandon was on.
Corey took the first foul, but then I think, so I guess Corey was on 2 there. It's also etiquette to tell your opponent when they need 2 balls to win. A lot of etiquette things.
It's only etiquette as long as they actually needed 2 balls. And if they needed 3, we would go ahead and call that poor sportsmanship.
That would be poor sportsmanship.
Well, if Corey really made a nice shot, he frees up on 3 then. Very careful. Well, maybe all these balls are blocking.
I would be very surprised if you shot one of these.
Originally, I was thinking that 5 and the striper lined up, but I think maybe the 13's in the way. So he's going to study the arrangement of these balls and see if there's something he likes.
Yeah, see if anything is dead. It looks like he sees some possibility. And Corey's great at finding these, and it may be the 3 off the 6 there. That might be what's wired. And he's struggling to play this.
Wow.
Don't do it. Oh, that's just terrible. I mean,
He shot it so confident.
that's really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. I feel a little bad for Corey there.
All right, I'm on 1 foul now.
Yeah, this is now the second shot I'm going to have to go back and watch. Because I wasn't really sure. Did the 3 go off the 6, but he elected to hit the top ball first to spread the rack?
I think he went right
That was my
into
only.
the 3.
He just went straight into the 3.
Straight into the 3. And that's what I was saying earlier, where you have to know those kisses, because he identified that the kiss line was on, and then he had it. And another reason you need to be careful about bumping balls, because Brandon, while he was playing safe, unintentionally created a dead ball with the 3, because that's the ball he bumped. So when he did that, he made a shot for Corey, which would be, assuming Corey didn't scratch, that would have been a very favorable outcome, because he spread the entire rack open with an easy shot, because the ball was dead.
So Brandon's got ball in hand here. I guess this stripe 2 diamonds up.
On him behind the head string, has to shoot down table. So we'll see what he elects. Last time he chose a difficult shot and missed. And he didn't have a ton of easy shots here, actually.
He's really only got 2, and I think this stripe over on the right by the chalk is the one he's going to shoot.
I don't even know if he has a whole pocket there. It's hard to tell. Plus that 13 is okay, no problem on that one.
I guess he's going to shoot the 13. So
I think he has to.
well, this is fine. He can get back in control and sort of figure out the problems. Great combination. Once again, that could have come out badly.
That could have come out poorly. He had a bit of a safety ball there with the 7. Like worst case, if he shot that up table.
I thought he was going to roll his cue ball through so that he was going to have the 1 no matter what happened over
I
there.
did too. He hit that with side spin, I think. He might have needed to throw that ball a little bit.
So maybe he's going to come up on the 11 here.
I like coming up on the 11 here. And because you have the 1 as a safety, in case you don't get a great shot out of it. So it's pretty riskless. But you have to get really good on the 11 or you're going to have problems there also. it'd be interesting to see what he does. He could also shoot the 15. Slide over. I don't think he was coming up on the 11 there.
He didn't
He's
shoot
just
it like
going
he
to
was
clear
going
these
to.
down, but he doesn't have a great way to get into these balls unless he...
Maybe this 8-3. You think the 8-3 is wired up there?
It looks a little high to me,
It does.
but
It looks
it's
like
possible.
It looks like it would catch the side rail.
Possible. It's hard to see the angle here.
I was kind of liking the 7 for the break ball.
Well, he might have wanted to shoot the 4, the 10, the ball above the 3 in the rack, because that goes in the corner.
Ah, okay.
But if he shoots it now, I think he's over the 5.
You're
so
right,
he
he's a little
probably will
jacked up.
not elect to shoot that.
He's got a little space to
He
work.
will elect to shoot that. And see, this is like he doesn't want to shoot the 7 because it's his break ball.
Sticking with the plan, perhaps.
Sticking with the plan.
Maybe
but
that was right there, but you're right. You
Well,
shouldn't always stick with your plan.
like for me, I would have shot the 7 because I don't have the confidence, right, to shoot that ball
Yeah.
bridging over like that. That's not an easy shot. So Brandon there with a nice shot. But he still has a little bit of an issue with the A3 there. He has to clear out that 11 and the 15 to get those balls to go. Now he could shoot the 7 now and go into them. So we'll see if he continues to stick with the plan or he goes into the balls. I would be shooting the 7 myself. What about you, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the 5, but I don't think it really leads to anything.
That's the thing. is he doesn't really have much to hope for. And even if he can hit him off the 5, he's got to hit that with high, come off that rail.
Oh, he's going to run into
It's
the
a lot
8.
less precise,
He's gonna
right?
run into the 8. Go in.
But look, I mean,
Well, he's still got an insurance.
that's not a great result.
Oh, look at this. He's got the.
It looks like the 11 goes.
He's got to not forget about his ball up top.
But that could have gone really poorly. And
Yep.
he could have missed those balls or hit them at a different angle. When you come off the rail like that with inside,
That ball, the ball up on the top is kind of like insurance. You have to get really badly not to.
it's insurance. But if those balls had tied up or he had hit them at a slightly different angle, it could have turned out poorly. And I think he's gonna use that 4 as a key ball. That's a great key ball because he can just come off the top rail and be right in line for the 7. But he came up a little short, but he's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay to use that top ball as a key ball. It's not really.
Those are great key balls. You
It's
can just
not
go
bad
straight
at
up and
all.
down.
You've got 2 ways you can go here. You can either come one rail or you can use. Well, you can do one rail either way.
Well, he may go 5
Either
rails.
side.
He may go 5 and 5. We'll have to see what Brandon likes here.
You can go one
I'm
rail
kidding,
either side.
folks.
You can go 2 rail. You can.
1, 2, 3. Well, look, 2 more rails and I would have had that nailed.
He's going to dead
So-
draw it with 0 rails.
But he-
How about that?
How many rails did he go here?
He's going to go 0.
He's going to go 2, I think, because he's too low on the ball. So he's going to have to. He's looking at coming back. I would go forward unless he's straight.
I'm never coming back. I'm either going forward here or
Yeah.
stunning it.
Well, and here you got it.
Ah, see, now he's not too far.
Yeah, but he came way too far.
You know what? He might get into the rack.
Well, that'd be a blessing if he got into the rack, which he didn't.
I'm going to take a short break and I'll get you this.
So what would have happened there is if he would have gotten the rack, he would have gotten ball in hand behind the head string and been able to shoot that ball. So getting in the rack actually would have been great. So he either needed to stop much shorter or come a little bit farther. But with that rack, Brandon goes up 62 to 44. 49. Sorry, folks, we have a score adjustment because we can't see the scoreboard from where we are, so apologies. Okay, so we have a score adjustment, 63-46. He's going to try and spin this high and get stuck. So you see again, it's the same thing that happened to Corey, is he hit the middle of the stack. Now obviously it's a lot harder to control that angle because he was coming off a rail with inside and a really difficult shot. So he did a great job to make the ball there and get into the stack, but because he hit the middle of that side, he's stuck. And It looks like the 15 is blocking any possibility at the 13. I think he's going to have to play safe here, judging by the slightly disgruntled look we saw on Brandon's face. Who, despite that, is a super nice guy. So if you see him at an event, and you want to go up to talk to him, please do. He really is a nice guy to talk to. Very friendly. He loves talking to the fans. Corey as well. He played that ball in the side pocket, which was a risky shot. Obviously, pretty high payoff. If he had made that, he'd be in pretty good shape and wanted to continue his run. And that's what I was talking to Andy about a little bit earlier. Is sometimes if you're in the middle of a run, you may shoot those balls, or if you're just coming to the table, that might not be a shot Corey would shoot right now. It's sort of that sunk cost fallacy where you think, I'm on a run, I want to continue to run and shoot this ball that's a little bit dicey. Whereas if you weren't on the run, you wouldn't have shot that ball. So I don't know if Brandon would have done that or not had he not been on a run, but it's possible. And he doesn't want to let Corey back to the table, even if he plays safe. I don't guarantee it's going to go well. And Corey's somebody who could really easily run this out. I think Corey's high run is in the high 200s. He's run 54 many, many times, so this would be no problem for Corey. So we haven't seen a big run as of yet, but let's see what Corey can do. Corey again with the bridge, which he's going to shoot this 14 into the 9. And he may try and knock off a couple balls here. And he just tried to create a little bit of separation. He might have gotten a little bit unfortunate there if he can't see the 14, but I'm sorry, the 10. Again, I'm just going to call everything the 14 ball. It's the kind of high quality commentary you get. Andy, welcome back. And Brandon basically did the same thing. He hit the ball, cut that ball in, went off the side rail into the middle of the side of the rack and got stuck.
Yeah, that is not unusual whatsoever.
Not at all.
So they've adjusted the score. What's showing on the board right now is 45-62. May not have updated it since the previous round.
Okay. And it looks like he doesn't have the 10. He does. Okay. So he does have the 10. So I think at some point he's going to try and come up for the 6 and use the 6, but...
He could go in with the 1.
Well, I mean, he may not... He really doesn't want to push the balls to the right-hand side because he has a good break ball right now. And if he uses the 6 and pushes them to the right, he's going to most likely hit that ball. Although maybe not. It looks like the 3 is going to slide down and the 6 and the 8 would go up. So I don't know. That's not the shot I was expecting, Andy.
No, that was not in my top 10.
Because now I'm not sure that he has...
I'm not so sure how easy it is to move those 4 balls in the middle without affecting his break shot. So maybe he's just going to develop something else. He's just abandoning the plan right from the start.
Well, and he may want to use the 1, but he's got the same problem where it's going to be hard not to move the 1. So I think he's got to hit him now. And that was great knowledge right there because he didn't hit him so hard. A lot of times you see people run into 1 ball really hard. They thought they were going to hit more balls, and they didn't realize they were only going to hit 1. I think he knew where he was going to hit. And you were right, because he likes behind the rack break balls, so he may want to leave this 3.
Still feel like the 5 and the 6 there need to get moved a little bit.
Well, I think he's going to have to shoot the 8 now, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's inside the angle where he can bump the 6. He may see another very controlled shot. I think he's okay, right?
It's okay if he can come over to the left side.
Except he's got a tough first shot.
He's got a tough first shot. That's true.
I like going 3 rails down here in the corner. Cut the 6. Put the side rail up above the 12, and the hand rail come out on the 12.
But either way, he's not going to be wholly comfortable because, again, this is the thing you don't want to do. He's got to let the cue ball go here.
Yeah, as long as you focus on second contact. Oh. How's it gonna stop? Well, what happens when we go 3 rails?
This is what happens
And
when we go
12 feet.
3 rails. This is why we can't have. This is why we can't have nice things, Andy. You know, like this is.
Well, we'll probably cut this 12 in the corner.
And that wasn't an easy shot. It was an easy shot to control the cue ball. You know, it's moving like 10, 12 feet there. It's hard to control it. Now, if he's lucky, it goes in the corner. But
No, he's got to play safe.
that was actually a great shot.
Especially after the frustration factor.
That was a
rolling up and
great
giving up the
shot.
table.
That really was.
So Brandon got the first ball, and then Corey's got the rest of them so far.
True.
This rack is gone.
True.
You got to have eagle eye to play these long safety shots here.
These are hard. I mean, to control that speed, because
It really is.
and I don't know what he's going to do here. He could try and kick the 12 out and freeze on the back of the 3. But when you're shooting the ball almost the full 9 feet, that's really hard to control that.
I kind of like thinning the ball, thinning the 12 here and going 2 rails back where he is. 12 maybe it goes over there off the end rail towards the 3 or behind the 3. And if you completely airball it, it's okay. You're right back where you were, except you're on 1 foul. So I would thin this, but be very sure not to hit it too thick.
Yeah, there is the 2-rail scratch possibility with
There is.
that.
And you do need to get down there because it's such a
Right, and you need to create that distance. So I like leaving the cue ball on the rail, but
he's just going to cut the
he's
6.
just going to shoot the 6. What a shot. What a shot.
Well, I guess if you're going to shoot that, you might as well cut these.
Well, and it really was a good choice because unless he hung that, it wouldn't have done that much damage to miss it. Because if it would have come back out, you know, stayed on the end rail and come back out, if it would have bobbled, it was a problem. But, you know, it was not quite a free shot, but it was a good choice. But what's he going to do now? I think he has to shoot the 3. He runs into the other wall and stops. If not, he's going to go way too far.
Wow.
So you saw he had just a little bit of inside English on that ball, which is why it drifted over. And whether that was intentional or not, he just caught a little bit of spin. And so he now has to come with another really tough shot of some kind. What do you think, like 2-rail bank, maybe?
Oh, I think I would hit the 5 into the 12 and go 2 rails on the safety.
You'd play safe. I think Mr. Shuff has shown that he is not a huge fan of safety play.
He likes to be at the table.
He does like to be at the table. Well, and with the shot-making ability he showcased, it's not hard to see why.
I mean, the 5-ball's a long reach, but
This is a tough shot without a bridge. It looks like he's looking at hitting the...
I think it's been this 12.
I think he's banking it. He's banking it right up table. Dead in the hole.
Not,
you know,
not
just
even
come.
touch a rail
He's
on the
gonna,
way in.
yeah, he's just gonna come around. He's gonna come one rail around behind the 5, and be there for my favorite break shot ever. You just crush that with inside English and watch it go 3 rails.
I'd like to point out that Brandon is winning this match. While we criticize all of his choices,
I'm not
he's winning the
criticizing.
match.
I'm not criticizing at all.
There's a lot of ways to play this game.
I'm not criticizing at all.
We're really just saying we wouldn't do this because we don't have the shot making to recover.
I'm trying to inject some levity for the viewers while he makes up his mind.
So he's just going to bank the 5.
I mean, he can bang whatever he wants. Look at that. I mean, I called the bank. I was a little unclear about which ball was being banked, but there was a ball being banked, and I'm comfortable with that. So what's Corey do?
I mean, I think he's going to come out and
I think he's going
play
to shoot
it
this
in the
ball
side
and break
and go,
off the side.
He's
Yeah.
going to go 2 rails out the corner into the back.
He's going to come straight up here, and he needs to just be a little under the ball. Come on, come on, come on.
See, I think he's going to go 2 rails and spin into the back.
You do 2 rails into the back. So he's got an option. He can go, I think, 1 rail into the side. He can go 2 rails into the back, or he can draw it into the top.
I think the problem with the 1 rail
In the middle.
Looking at this exactly not down the angle of the shot, I think he's not straight enough to draw it, not straight enough to go 1 rail with any kind of force. So I'm gonna say he's gonna go out the corner and come up and hit the 7 or the 11.
Well, the preference would be to go 2 rails because you're unlikely to slide off the side and get stuck.
He hit the 8, except for that last
It's
kiss.
unfortunate he didn't get a better. That really was fantastic. I mean, he hit that rack precisely where you would want to. He hit it on the end. And that was no easy shot to hit it precisely like that. He did a great job, and unfortunately, he didn't get a good shot out of it.
Clearly enjoying ourselves watching this match, not keeping score very well, and duck out and see what they want to score up as. That doesn't very nice shot.
That was a nice shot. Really nice shot there by Corey to keep it alive here.
Especially since he even seemed to show a little bit of frustration on the break when the cue ball double hit that 11 and got himself in a worse spot than he could have been. It's a good, calm, collected shot afterwards.
Well, my father one time asked Mike Sigel, he said, when you miss, how do you get over it? Because I think for a lot of us, if we miss
Quickly.
a ball, especially if it's a ball you're supposed to make, it can get to you, and that can cause you to miss other balls. And Mike Sigel told him, he said, if you can't put that out of your head, you're never going anywhere in this
Play
game,
some other
because, you really just have to be able to let that go. And you see the players that aren't good at letting it go. Some players let the frustration get to them, especially if there have been a couple of those in the match. Corey's a champion. Corey's a legend, so I think he can just put that away. And Corey's a pretty good-natured, good-humored person anyway. I don't think that much bothers Corey in general. So
That's a nice shot he just made there. He really had trouble to connect with the rack, and he just nudged enough to create a shot.
And that was an interesting way to play that there with great control, because he really resisted the temptation to just try and blast through the balls, which is what I would do approximately 110% of the time. And it's completely the wrong thing to do. So Corey showed good judgment there and good execution on that shot. But he is going to have to hit him again. And how to do that is a little bit difficult unless he shoots that 14-13 combo.
I was looking at that, and I think that's now it looks like he's looking at 13-8 as well. Yeah, choosing a combination there will simplify your going into these. But you do need to go in. There's no easy way to get into it.
And there's some distance between those balls, and so I mean, you know, that is in a way fraught with a little bit of peril there. And we'll see. I mean, it looks like he's going to take this 6 ball and then get the angle he wants. He's looking at that. Okay, so we'll see if he got it. And he looks okay here. Because he doesn't want to come into those with too much angle because it will throw the 13 and makes it harder to judge given the distance between the 14 and the 13. So we'll see what kind of speed he plays this with. I think he's going to have to play it pretty hard. Great shot.
It's a little stuck.
Another unfortunate result unless that 9 goes. So he's going to look at that combo and see if it goes by the 7 there. And that's what he's playing, unless he's playing 6 and you can see it.
Nice shot there.
Yeah, that was really nice. But again, he's going to have to hit him again.
Yep. We'll core again.
I don't think any of those balls has a pocket.
One of those possible combinations there still. Could go into them now off the 8.
See what he elects to do here. It looks like there's a combination on the stripe in the side pocket off the 15. But I think he's going to play this as the last resort. He may try and pop off the rail and hit him or come up for the 7. He didn't quite get the...
Didn't roll favorably.
Right.
Looks like he's going to back cut this ball and maybe go around this.
But I mean, this is a little danger here. He needs to get on that.
Well,
Yeah, same.
I'll be honest, that ball looked like it grabbed a whole skid.
But, you know, he did get out of line.
Yeah.
That's what can happen. So while they fix the score, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Enjoy your time with Andy.
Brandon's going to have to figure something out here. Okay, that was a nice shot. Really solved his problems and he gave a nice and center shot the whole time. I got to decide about this 1 and 9. You could take the 9 right now, but the 1 is maybe only barely out of the rack. The 15. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice there. He'll use the 15. stay away from getting too close to that 12. He took his eye off the ball. Did not grab like he thought it would. Now he's going to be going up and down. Considering his options here. So that's an interesting choice there by Corey. Decided not to try some miracle position off the one ball, and maybe he's still considering it.
We got 2 rails inside. Nice shot there. That was tough.
Yeah, and
He's got a long shot here, but he's got a good angle.
and he may have left that longer on purpose because, as you saw, it was starting to roll across the angles.
Yeah, if he had gone another foot, he would have a break shot.
So once again, I've lost track of the score.
That's all right. I'll check it in just a second after Corey. Folks, again, thanks for joining us at the American 14.1 Straight Pool Championship here at Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia. If you're in the Richmond area, you should stop on by. It's a great room, great food, great people. Dorsey family here supporting us. This is our 4th year here.
It's our 4th year.
And we love it, so we're very happy to be here. We thank them very much.
The field's gotten stronger and stronger. This is
It is amazing.
just about the strongest field I've seen in straight pool. Probably, since I've been playing pool, late 90s.
Great shot there by Corey. And we have a truly international field. We have players from all over the world, players from the Philippines, China, Taiwan, Japan, all over Europe, everywhere in the States. So really we have the world's best. So we're really fortunate that they come and play in the tournament. We're very thankful. And I think a lot of that, the hard work of tournament promoter Peter Burrows there, giving all the money back to the players, not just doing
And
this
then
for
some.
love, not taking a
And
dime
some.
of it for himself. So really a great tournament to support. So we thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Did he want to then play the 4 on the side and break those up there? Is that what he was going for, Andy? Where does that 9 go? Because I don't see how the 9 goes there. I thought he was going to play the 5 and then come up for the 6 and go into them from the 6.
Yeah, this is, he may have left himself in a little bit of a spot here.
And by the 6, I mean the 2. I'm sorry. Is he
Does he
playing
have
the
the 11
combination
too?
on the 2 here? I think that's what's
Maybe
happening.
11 twos here.
That's tricky. Nice shot there by Corey. I think he's going to pick off these balls and come back to the top of the table. Why do you think he bumped that 9 ball?
I'm not sure. He's actually blocked his pocket, so he's going to have to use that one now.
What?
Back out to the center of the table. He will likely play the 1 ball here on into the 6-7.
And guys, that's the score after the last rack. with our timely scorekeeping. Come up top here and then just go into them from the 8.
I think
He's okay.
Flip
But
the edge of the 6.
6 ball, yeah. I think he'd rather hit that a little fuller.
Yeah, you're right. But I think it's okay. You're going to see.
We'll hit this little soft follow.
Out the back.
That's it. I mean, unfortunately, when you clip the edge like that, you're not going to get a lot of separation, so he's going to have to find a way to hit these again. And that would be the criticism of this style of play versus a style where you try and blast them open as soon as you can, is that you may at a certain point run out of balls to run into the balls with.
But if you have confidence in your safety game, it doesn't mean you're going to lose the match.
No, very true. Very true. I mean, that wasn't meant as a criticism at all. Just
looking at this 13 in the lower left, possibly the 12-13 is lined up as well. But I think the 12-13 must be off because he hasn't really considered that.
what about the 3-12?
That could be working. Looks like he's got a little angle here. Like he ought to be able to come to this end rail and make something happen.
Yeah, that's so tricky though.
I don't believe
That's
he-
the kind of thing I would do and end up frozen to the back rail. Trying to blast this with high
He's hitting
inside.
this firm with that one.
He is hitting hard with high inside, so we'll see what happens.
Look at this. Couldn't come out any worse.
Yeah. Well, the 12
But
might
you
go.
know what? He didn't give
12
up the table, did
The
he?
12 might go off the 6. Well, actually, this is okay because he doesn't have a guaranteed break ball, but he can shoot the 8, come down a little bit, and then use 13 and break up the balls at least. That's like a guaranteed he'll break up the last 3 balls.
He's got the 3 ball here. Look at this.
No, he does. So it could have come out worse. So it came out just fine. So we were
Came out fantastic.
It came out. Would have been tricky for that to come out better, in fact. So some misleading commentary from us, but that's what keeps it interesting. You know, if we didn't lie to you a little bit,
You could turn the volume
wanna
off,
come
but
back
then you'll
in.
miss all the levity.
this is hard for me. Is to come from under the ball to on top of the ball, like use a cue ball that's under the break ball. I find that difficult.
The key balls aren't in the typical favorable spot here. You have to. This is really this shot right here to get on the 13.
It's hard to
perfectly.
control that position. And what he could have done is to leave the ball he just shot, shoot the other 2, use that ball as the key ball, stop it, and then you shot the break ball on the side and hit the top of the rack.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do that a lot because, especially on tight
'cause they can
pockets.
play perfect position like this and stun it out for.
Yeah,
5 seconds.
I have zero faith in my ability to play perfect position. So
So Corey got all.
Corey
this, right?
and me showing me up again. So Corey now on 81.
Only going to 100. So.
All right, so if he can get through this rack, he'll only need 5 more. So the potential for us to only see 2 more break shots exists if Corey can run this out. But this isn't a hanger. I mean, he needs to
It's not a
control
hanger,
this.
but-
He can. I think he can go right into that 9 ball,
Yeah, I like
which would be perfect.
predictability of the cue ball here.
Well, he doesn't need to crush it because if he
Really-
hits that 9 ball full, that rack will really open up and it'll give him more than enough shots.
You know, the cue ball probably drift off to the left after the 9 anyway. You know, make the ball. Make the ball.
And the wisdom I hear repeated often by top players here is decide how you're going to shoot the ball and then forget about the rack, basically.
Well, especially
And-
on this shot, it's going to take care of itself.
Yeah, right. You just need to shoot the ball and make sure you make the ball. And despite that, I mean, the most common miss in top players, I think, in straight pull is the break ball. You know, either a miss or a scratch on the break ball. Because people let it kind of get into their head that they have to break the rack.
Right, your focus gets split.
Mhm.
You have to fight that. You say, figure out what's going to happen with the rack and focus on the shot. Might be taking a break here.
They're taking a short break to wash up or run to the restroom.
So we started out with 48 players on a Tuesday. We started at noon, players meeting time. 48 players in 8 groups of 6 players each. We sort of seeded players, not top to bottom, in groups of sort of skill levels, the 6 skill levels, A, B, C, D, E, F, just so that when we randomly drew the levels, each of the flights would be fairly evenly balanced. So that we play 5 matches against everybody in your group, and the 8 winners of the groups get a bye and a single elimination chart. 24 players. You got to finish in the top 3. 24 players. You get a bye if you win your group, and second and thirds in the group will face off on the single elimination chart to get in the top 16 to play those winners. It's just typical single elimination chart. We will finish up round robin tomorrow afternoon, and then play the first 2 rounds to get down to 8 players for Saturday. Many of these players are headed off to the US Open, so it gives them a chance to get there. Give enough time to relax a little bit. Let's see if Brandon can make him pay a little bit for that.
Seen some uncharacteristic misses, I suppose. It's a tough shot, though.
I got a few.
Haven't seen any huge runs. We haven't seen huge runs, but it's not going to take a huge run to finish the set off. Brandon only needs 32 balls.
Now it looks like Brandon's taking a minute.
I want my teeth shattered.
So we'll again thank our sponsors.
So cold today.
Diamond Billiards and the Dorsey family here.
You know what I mean?
Airmyth, Simone's Cloth, Lucasi Q's, Kamui Tips, Diamond Tables. Am I missing anybody, Andy?
Lights Out Apparel.
Lights Out Billiard Apparel.
All the rage these days. Jake Lawson.
They make really nice apparel.
Beautiful.
They really do. Alright, so let's see what Brandon does here. You think he comes back into the balls or just hits it soft? Hits it soft, comes up.
He's got a couple options here. He can play the 5, play the 6, grab another rack, sleep on the rack, grab the 6, just to get those 3 balls.
But again, I mean, there's the stylistic difference. I feel like Corey would not have gone into the balls there. And to be honest, it gets a little separation, and it does you some good if you get the result that he got. But it didn't necessarily have to turn out that well, and he didn't get a great shot, and now he has to go 3 rails.
And back in line.
And it all works out okay if you can get in line, get out of line again.
It's the part missing of my game, for sure.
Right, absolutely. Mine too. Mine too. It's the make a great shot to get back in line part.
Yes.
This is,
Well, he may have wanted this right down here in the lower left earlier. He ended up jacked up on the ball, so he took his 80 side. Maybe back on plan. That's a nice shot. So the 1 is just kind of blocking the pocket for the 3 and the 2.
Yeah, clearing out those lower balls is really important. I think get those avenues going. I think he'll try and get the 5 and the 11 out. It's a little closer to the rail than he meant to be, but
Sorry about that.
let's see there again. I mean, he goes into it and kicks the ball at the table. That's a good result, though. So now he can pick off the 3. You know, he can really leave the 13 or the 7. The 13's a little close. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to move a little something or just takes it as it lies. He'd really like to shoot this 9.
Yeah, it looks.
Because right now it's blocked in both the lower pockets.
could play this 11 hole up on the 13.
He might try and bump that. Oh, I thought he might try and bump the 13 there and try and get it a little farther from the rack. But I think he was worried about that. Ball frozen on the rail, wanted to get rid of that.
Yeah, he's a little unfortunate that he's this straight, but he can come off just a little bit. Or maybe cut this ball inside and go 3 rails.
Our favorite way to play position. Although in this case, I kind of like doing that because it would get him on the right-hand side and he would have options for shots.
Well,
like he could essentially play position right now for the 6, the 7, or the 15.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the 13 was the trouble ball, so I was kind of surprised when he threw that back. I thought that was his next shot.
I would have just punched it out a little bit and stun it off the rail and get rid of the 13.
Yeah, well, I thought that was his plan.
Yeah, and this looks like it's pretty far down near that diamond, so yeah, that's what I was about to say. Not an easy shot there, and especially if you hit that with spin and it slides a little bit, you're gonna have a tough time. So Brandon with 9. And Corey comes to the table needing 19.
And you could see Brandon's frustration. He knows the way this match has been going. Especially starting with this open table.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think either of them necessarily playing to the top of their
No, not at all.
ability at this
Not at
point.
all.
And it's a tough table. I mean, and it's our 3rd day of the tournament, and people have been a lot of focus and a lot of concentration, and it's not easy to maintain that, and the added pressure of playing on stream too. It's certainly been known to.
That affects people like me, not so much these guys.
I'm trying to
only
give
play
them
good for half of a match.
Trying to give them an out here, Andy. Come on.
Well, with five balls on the table, Corey get him to 86. He won't have just one more break shot if he takes care of things.
So he'd like to shoot that 13, but it's a little bit tougher of a shot. I might take the 15 here because that is blocking the 7.
I think he's going to save the 7. I think he can play the 13 and just possibly roll up on his 6 on the side.
Yeah, see, confidence there in both the shot making and the position ability because he took the harder shot and played position that if you were less precise with that spin, you might be running into a ball that you really don't want to move. Excuse me. So the question is whether he'll stay under or come back on top because he's going to shoot the 15. And then whether he'll shoot the 14 up table and the 9 inside, drift over for the 7.
Nice pattern. He's definitely considering his options here. It's not necessarily it looks like maybe.
I mean, he could shoot the 9 and come over. I just don't favor that. I mean, the 9's an open ball too, and the 15, you can get to a place where you can't shoot the 15.
He went over and looked at a spot here, 14, and said, is that a good one railer on 15?
I think I thought that angle was a little bit sharper.
It seems
I
a
didn't
little
think he
sharper,
could hold the ball like that.
The way he looked at it, he said, if I can stop shot the 14, is that a good spot to go one rail on the 15?
Right, he can just come lower and come one rail. And this isn't easy either because he's going to come across the angle, so he's probably going to draw it a little bit to widen the angle.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit of draw there.
Perfect.
And you can play whatever pattern you want when you get perfect on balls. So Corey with 86 now. So I was right when I said could 2 more break shots, not in the way that I intended.
I think we got 7.
That's right.
786.
So let's see if Corey can drill this one. And this one's an interesting one because he should go right into the 5 here, shouldn't he?
Looks like he'd go on the top of the 5. I'm pretty sure a Thorson would draw this ball back the end.
I do think this is his like to crush these and draw them all the way back break.
Yeah,
But I've never seen Corey play that ball ever.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't think he'll elect to play it that way. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays it.
He may just draw it back into the middle of the table and just maybe bring 4
Just
balls
a
out.
softer draw. Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as he's not hitting in the middle. The problem is if he thinks he's hitting a ball full and he hits in the middle of 2 balls with draw, he could get stuck. Well, this is not a likely shot to get stuck on. Yeah, he went forward. Which I like that because he's not going to get stuck that way, and he went through the corner ball there. And he got unfortunate with the break. He didn't get a shot. We needed that ball to roll over a little bit farther. He may have the 14 in the combo here. And he may have the 3. Yeah, that's a really tough shot. So Corey leaves the table at 87. Brandon comes to the table needing 23 balls. So if he runs this rack out, he would be in pretty good shape. That 3 ball looks pretty good for a combo. Although I imagine he's going to just shoot the 5 right now. I don't know if he has any other choice. But shoot the 5 and go into them.
A lot of opportunities for both players in this match.
Yeah, that was a hard shot. And, he was frozen to the rail there. He had to hit that with high English. And when you hit that thin cut like that with high English, the tendency is to do exactly what he just did and undercut the ball and run into the rail because the high English makes that ball undercut. So a nice leave there for Brandon, who capitalized quite nicely and spread the balls all over the table.
With a perfect break shot.
And he's got a perfect break shot.
And it looks like this combo maybe does go.
Well, that would just be the icing on the cake there, Andy. I mean, I don't know. You wouldn't even have to hit them or do anything special if that went. So that would just be greedy of Brandon.
He's shooting like there's not a care in the world.
You
think he knows the other guy's like right there?
I don't.
I can't shoot this relaxed.
I don't. Yeah, no. I think he's just gonna pocket balls. Well, he's a shot maker. He's a talented shot maker, so he can. I think he just sort of. But there's a danger too. You see, people in straight pool a lot of times miss easier shots that you wouldn't think they would normally miss. Balls like this, like he bobbled that ball, and people take shots for granted because then you kind of make a hard shot and you are like relieved that you made it, and then you're like, oh, I just made this really hard shot. This easy shot is like a hanger, and then you missed that. So he does have a little bit of work to do here, but mostly he just needs to get rid of that 14 ball.
Love that shot.
With that little 2-rail inside follow.
Well, there was just no future in drawing the ball.
Right.
None of the balls went. You could maybe try to get on the 8, but
I think I would have gone a little harder and tried to come back toward the center of the table, but this is going to work out just fine for him. Yeah, 6-8, 8-6, whichever one kind of works for him.
The ball up on the top is not as bad as it initially looks. He won't have to do much with that unless he actually saves it for the very last shot. He's going to have the 9, the 15.
I like using that ball as a key ball, and he bumped a key ball. I don't know that I would have had the confidence to go into those, but this came out great. So now, I mean, he can. You really want to get straight in on the pocket on the 15. So the question is where to go on the 1.
There's a little angle here.
And he's a little steeper than he wanted to be. So it'd be interesting to see whether he. Because we had this position last time.
Yeah, this is another one. It's a great key ball as long as you're straight.
Are we going 3 rails?
As long as you're straight, it's a great key.
Are we going 3 rails?
Well, I like how you use 2 rails.
Yeah, that was the right way to play that. So he got straight on the key ball, which is exactly what you want to be.
There you go.
So he's just
Doesn't
gonna.
even have to go to the rail.
He's gonna. Right. Thought he would come actually forward a ball there,
Yeah,
but
he's okay. But
How many had won this round?
so Brandon there with 13 takes him up to 90, back in the lead within 10. So we'll see if he can put this break shot down.
yeah, he definitely took away some of his angle, but I think there's enough. And he's going to go into the top balls that he's not likely to be stuck.
I
Great
agree.
opportunity.
I'm surprised he came back a little bit though.
Yeah.
I think some men are going a little bit forward. And that might have been an abundance of caution move. Although
what?
he has not.
Right.
I don't want to.
Exactly.
He has not demonstrated an abundance of caution approach for most of the match, but now it's tight. There's he needs 10, Corey needs 13. Pretty much. Oof.
He's got a 14 here. Whichever the stripe is down.
And he hit that way just because he really was scared of getting stuck, because he was going to go into the middle of the rack, and he just punched that ball and tried to get it to
He's
pop
going in
off.
now, watch.
Dangerous though.
Well, he can leave 5 on the table, so he does need to go one more time. I would opt for clearing the table quite a bit here.
Yeah, me as
But
well.
perhaps use
Me as
6,
well.
yeah.
You definitely want to pick up some there.
If the 4 ball goes, I kind of like it.
I like that as well, but he may elect to take the 11 also.
Well, it's blocking the 3 a little bit.
Or the reach there is pretty difficult, so I probably would take the 4 for that reason, come under.
Right. But, if he's comfortable with bridge, yeah, I'm never shooting the shot. I'm just going to leave it with bridge.
Well, I think that's exactly what he wanted to do there, was kind of get level with that 3 ball, and then he can bust him up one more time. I mean, this shot is pretty much the match here. He makes this. Or is he not going into it? He is not. That's an interesting choice.
I kind of like it, actually.
Showing a little conservatism in his end-game strategy, this Brandon.
I'm pretty sure he's aware that he needs to get one more ball in the thruster, aside from the one that's somewhat free.
Was there dead ball? I mean, does that 6 go?
It looks like the 6 is pointed at the end rail. It looks like the 512 is pointed at the side rail. But if he shoots this and draws back, he's going to shoot this, leave the 6 ball and bump the 9. But there's just no insurance balls anymore. But you got to figure. There's your risk, right?
There's your risk. I knew we couldn't be going totally conservative.
Well, the fact that he can only leave 5 on the table, not 6, makes it.
Actually, in this case, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because, ooh.
And I think you got just across the line.
Dicey.
Shot,
That
too.
was
using all of the
was
small
close.
pockets.
He did use the whole pocket. Yeah, so see where he pointed his tip there. He really wanted to come over an extra inch, and this was one of the problems with not going into him earlier, which I know I've sort of denigrated earlier in the commentary at certain points, but now he's got to draw into him and sort of see what happens. And if that 14 ball didn't, oh, he has the 8. Yeah, that turned out just fine.
Down to 2 balls. They come up short.
Yeah, the side.
I don't like this shot.
Me neither.
Brandon.
But then Brandon is Brandon.
He's so focused, he doesn't know.
Oh, he doesn't know he's out.
That's it, Brandon.
Oh, Corey just told him. It's a great match. Thanks, Andy. Had a good
Thank
time
you,
calling
Darren.
it with you.
Yeah.